What was that?
Perfect. You want to be that guy?
Wow.
Doug Front! Jesus Christ. You showed up. I love when Brad threatens you, sir. You show up for the show.
Guys, welcome to DCTV. Good morning. It is
Good
Wednesday, December 21st, 2022, and it is cold AF. I'm sure most of you guys who are watching, especially if you're in the States, are experiencing the flash freeze that is sweeping the nation. It's going to get super cold here. I know I see Lord Blade Runner. I see was talking about it in our Discord yesterday. Make sure you go check out the link in the description. It is free to do that. Yeah, so it is cold AF, but we're still here. We're still grinding. We're still hanging out with y'all. And I'm looking at the markets right now. Where the heck did it go? There it is. S&P futures are up slightly. They had a pretty decent day yesterday as well. It's up around 31 points. Dow's up 350. Nasdaq's up 61 points. So pretty good start to the morning. Crude oil is also up quite a bit. It's at $78 a barrel. And then we're looking at Bitcoin as well at 16,853. And it's hit quite a few good support levels just in the short term, Jaime. So, but let's take a closer look at that, shall we?
Sure. So what we're seeing is, of course, Bitcoin's waiting for that second shoe or that definition of where we're headed. Where are we going to come back and test that resistance we just broke? Or are we just going to go ahead and let's get down here and get this capitulation over with? So that's literally what we're looking at, where Bitcoin is. On the grand scheme of things, it is where holding as resistance on that previous wick from the previous bull run that we had top. So when we zoom in, let me share this on the weekly, we're also seeing the same thing. We are below. It tried to rally up to that 19,000 region, and we fell short of it. So now at this moment are we curving down for that capitulation? What's next? So it's just a matter of observing at this moment where we're going to end up at. And once we get that clarity, we can continue building. We're looking at it from a perspective of we want the miner, and we're seeing news of miner capitulation and so many other industries the same mining / Web3 crypto industry getting hit. We want that as someone who builds, because this is the time to do your investments, to deploy your capital and get going. As an investor, as a builder, when everyone's running for the hills, this is the time to strike. So we're pretty excited about this. It sounds bad, but guys, if you're builders and you understand what all this is about, you do want this to occur so we can just clear the set, get rid of all the chaff, and move forward. So just observe and enjoy the ride in this case.
Yeah, if you are a builder and you're looking at and not just Bitcoin miners, but miners in general. I mean, we have miners here in the studio, yes. And they are at ridiculous lows, and they might not be at these prices ever again. If things go the way that we think that they're going to go. So yeah, I mean, if you're looking at these are Kadena,
yes, Kadena, KDA,
and these are pretty cheap as well.
Right.
I mean, once the bull market comes back, rising tides lifts all ships, in my opinion. And I think that even though something like that may not go as crazy as a Bitcoin or Ethereum or whatever, they're all going to go up. And so looking at some really good opportunities that especially miners that don't consume as much energy as, say, Bitcoin might end up being advantageous for even the do-it-yourself or the person at home trying to do this.
Absolutely. And if you consider like those Kadena miners or any miner, even the Bitcoin miner. So if we look at Bitcoin, because that's, to me, that's the gold standard.
Sure.
If you look at Bitcoin, a miner, just the miner, not the production or anything of that sort. If you buy it now at around $2,500 for the same ASIC or miner that was ranging $9,700, $12,000, just buying the damn thing and not even plugging it.
Right.
The moment the market settles and starts rising, you're going from 82% to back to your 100% on the next run. So just holding the asset, the miner itself, you could resell it and double, triple, quadruple possible your money back without even plugging it in.
Yeah,
So-
people absolutely arbitrage equipment.
Absolutely.
I
This is the
made a lot of money last bear market just buying up GPUs. I was able to buy GPUs that were selling in the bull market for $500-600. I was able to buy them for $130 a piece,
bro.
Damn.
and they kept my house warm. So that's good.
Yeah, I believe we got to buy more miners where Brad is at the moment because it is dropping in temperature.
So that's what I said. We either gotta unplug these and find a better heat source, or buy more of these. And yeah, so it's the freezing point, 32 degrees. The miners aren't keeping up with the cold at that point. It's quite chilly here, but
Do more jumping jacks.
What's
Yeah,
the
I'll-
wind chill where you're at?
I will say it's actually like pretty amazing, just at how much heat these things put off and how they've been able to keep this garage pretty warm all the way up to this point. I mean, it's December 21st, and I'm just now complaining about how cold it is in here.
Dude, I'll be up there by tonight, I think, and we'll warm up that garage in better with the
Yeah.
ASICs in Friday's show.
Yeah,
What's the wind chill where everyone's at?
I don't think it's not too windy here, so it's not too bad.
Yeah,
wind
neither
like,
is
no,
here.
what's it feel like temperature?
32 right now
Hmm.
at this moment.
I guess
So-
it has where I'm at. It hasn't been this cold since 1983, and the wind chill factor is negative 43 degrees.
God,
I was like, oh, it's gonna be
That's
cold out.
punishing. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
-9.
Absolutely.
we were just talking to Greg before we went live, and he said that actual temperature where he's at in Indiana, I believe, is going to be -7
Yes.
come Friday.
Yeah, he called us all pussies.
Yes, yes, he did.
Yeah. And I agree with Lord Fenver. If you still don't want to drop a lot of coin, you just get some USB ASICs. They consume like 4 watts and you get the satisfaction of mining Bitcoin in the background.
Yeah.
Where do you
So
get those at?
Great point.
find out, Lord.
You might
let
never
Don-
ever in your entire life break even, but you mined Bitcoin.
Oh, you see, Philip, he's selling Christmas. Jesus. Yeah, it must be cold out there.
Although if
She-
you plug them into a McDonald's register or something and nobody knows it's there, it's free Bitcoin for you. So.
That's right. If you're stealing energy, it's a whole different ballgame.
Yeah. Yeah, like the Russians that were at the nuclear plant in Russia mining
Yeah.
Bitcoin. They're like,
All-
how the fuck are we consuming this power? And they go do an audit and they're fuck all these Bitcoin miners inside the nuclear plant. By the
All you have to
nuclear
do-
scientists.
is tap the lines behind the power switches and no one will ever know.
Right.
Yeah, just touch those things.
Yeah.
That's all you gotta do.
Thank God it was the scientists doing this. They knew what the fuck they were doing.
Yeah.
They just didn't know how to not make it too obvious what they were doing.
God damn, that's crazy.
Modulation is the answer, my friends. Modulation.
All right. Just looking at some of the comments here, we have the code bug says, what did I just saw it. You mentioned your set.
Oh yeah, I'm in Peter's garage. I kicked him out. I'm like, we're done, bro. Go take a vacation. Get out. I'm running this show now.
That's right.
A lot of your ficus. Yeah.
Wolf Manorock says, what's going on with this dude, meaning SBF? I hear the court remained to stay, and then he was getting extradited, but now he's not in the U.S. yet. Can't wait to find out. Yeah, so that's actually going to be in our show today. So we're just waiting for some people to roll in. Looks like we finally get our normal crowd. But today's show, we're going to be talking about the SBF extradition and what's going on with that, how that's going to play out. It is quite hilarious considering that he is just cannot wait to get out of the Bahamian prison. And against the advice of his lawyers, as he's been doing this entire time, he has agreed to be extradited to the U.S. And actually, what I'm hearing is, and we're going to get into this, but just as a little teaser, what I'm hearing is that he's going to be able to make bail in the U.S. As well.
Aw, how cute.
was going on.
Yeah.
And
Thanks, Mom. Thanks, Dad.
yeah, exactly.
Thank you, Uncle Gensler.
Lots
Wow.
to
Thank
unpack
you,
there.
anti Clinton.
Lots to
Do you
unpack
want him in
there.
a cell with the? Who's the giant guy he'd be with? Who was the guy with?
Andre the Giant.
Oh no,
He's dead.
who's the guy that just
Awesome, though.
hung himself in Clinton? With
Epstein,
the Clintons. What's the name?
Jeffrey Epstein.
Yeah. Do you really want him in Epstein's prison? I can't talk today. Who's the guy in his? I'm gonna start cussing here in a second. His cellmate. Do you really want him to have the same cellmate as Epstein?
No, he didn't even have any.
I-
It was security guards that gave him, the means to do it. So let's
Yeah, right.
we'll table that. We'll get into that conversation a little bit.
It's not Friday. Yeah.
We also have crypto whales that are accumulating 3 altcoins that not many people know about. I want to talk about this because I want to get Brandon and Jaime's opinions on them in particular. to
I've
see
mentioned a
if
couple.
they are shit or legit. Yes. So we're going to talk about those. And then Dogecoin, guys, has now officially eclipsed Coinbase in market cap. So
That's insane.
we're going to discuss that too and see what's in store for Coinbase and Dogecoin and all that stuff. So make sure you guys are sticking around. Before we get into anything else, though, make sure that you hit that subscribe button, hit the like button, and go ahead and check out our Discord. It's absolutely free to join. The link is in the description below. We'd love to have you guys in our community and continue some of the conversations that we're having today. Our community is continuing to grow. We love it, and it is slowly but surely happening, but it's happened nevertheless. We would love to have you guys over there. So make sure you go check us out over there on our Discord. Let's get into the WTF news of the day. Listen, we have a different state. You guys know that I've tried to pick on everybody. Florida has just been way too easy lately. We've gotten North Carolina in there, Maryland, and Colorado even, but it's Ohio's turn. So Ohio, I have the oh yeah, here we go. Here's the picture here. If I showed you guys this picture, what would you? This was a seizure from U.S. Customs in a Cincinnati airport. Obviously looks like it could be drugs, right? So what kind of drugs
Looks
you
like
guys?
DVDs.
We'll say that.
Yeah, or vapes.
Someone's stacking bands.
That is 28,600 pills of prescription drugs in 2 shipments of pens. A third shipment contained around 700 packets of jelly laced with sildenafil. So these are 28,600 pills of sildenafil and jelly that's laced with sildenafil. Do you guys know the active ingredient of sildenafil?
Do tell.
No.
Yes, I'm curious.
It's Viagra.
Oh, so
Are you
you
serious?
guys looking?
Gotta
at
get
this?
your pen. Gotta get your pen going. You know.
So these were these Viagra was smuggled into the U.S. for whatever reason. I don't know. That it's so easy to get it now.
Yeah.
All you gotta do is just call up the doctor, say, hey, you know what? I need
Probably not the
get it.
price he got it at.
my Get Hard pills and have that be that. So, well, that's the other thing. They were smuggled in here. The shipment was worth more than $561,000.
Huh.
So even though, I mean, it's not a small amount of money, but it
Right.
seems like an awful lot of trouble to go through for that kind of money. Like it does. I would imagine that you're trying to make a lot more than $500,000, and that
Yeah.
you would try to smuggle
Right.
a lot more than that in there.
And now you're a hardened criminal.
Yeah. Now you're in jail.
Harden. I saw what
People-
you did.
People will smuggle. People will push in. People will put stuff in their hole for $1,000. You think they wouldn't do crap like this for 500,000? You got people swallowing stuff in, keystering just little water balloons for $1,000, and you're talking about $500,000.
$1,000 though of like good drugs, right? Like
Hey, you take that, you might have a good time. You might have a better time with that than you would on any other drug.
you gotta
Tide
find
Pods,
somebody else to have a good time. You gotta find somebody else to have a good time with.
Yeah,
That's true.
He probably
Yeah.
locked
Gotta
one
get
in.
your
He said,
pen
"I need to
working."
take care of this. I don't need to let this one go." And he locked in a good time. He said, "Hey, we got 500 grand worth of this stuff to go through." So
Well, that's my other
Well-
thing. Like, what else? Who are you? What's the demographic here? Because most
You
Americans,
got to be older.
the vast
no,
Or
it's not
porn
even older
stars.
anymore. It's like anyone 18 and older.
the vast majority of people can just get this at the pharmacy. You can actually have it delivered to you via mail.
I
So you don't
wonder
need
if
a
this is
prescription, Brent?
What
what if
you
this
do
is
need a pre-
precursor.
you do need a prescription, but like you could just call up Hims or Roman and talk to a doctor over the phone, and they just mail it to you. Like,
Yeah, but that's worth 500 grand. The dude didn't pay 500 grand for that stuff. How much
For
is it
what?
going to cost prescription wise? He probably got that a lot cheaper.
but you're not getting my point. My point is like, why? Who's going to buy it on the black market when it's so easy to get?
So Brad, I think I have an answer. My hypothesis here is that this is used as precursor. They're basically breaking it down into base components in order to make some other illicit drug. Because cough medicine doesn't get people super stoned either, but people buy that as a precursor for making meth and
That's
other
fair.
types
That's
of
true.
drugs. So I'm wondering if that's the reason, or I could also see, my wife and I have watched a lot of those
Crime
TV
show.
shows where people are smuggling stuff through the
Snap.
airports, and I'm hypothesizing too is this could have been a red herring. This could have been like, hey, if we tie up the resources looking at this one, we can probably get these other legit loads through. And if they
yeah.
get this one, they'll find a different kind of load.
Like pause.
Yeah, wow.
So what you're saying is this was a decoy, diversion.
This is like a boner candle to get people to think you're out of a bear market, but really
Oh,
Well done, man. Well illustrated, Brandon.
I like that. I like
thank
that.
you.
Philip says that mushrooms are on the rise. I have heard that. I've heard that psychedelics are.
Yes. I have a buddy that is actually getting a PhD in psychedelics and
Yep.
mushrooms and guides you through this. It's rising.
They finally have some studies going on about it. I think it's
Like
California's
microdosing,
leading the way on
right?
that one.
Yeah, well, I mean, post-traumatic stress is such a serious thing, and it seems
Mhm.
that's actually a promising treatment for people with PTSD, and especially after we went through this psycho experiment where we're like, hey, let's lock people in their houses for 2 years and shut down their businesses and make them afraid of one another. That'll be good for the country. And then after all of that happened, we have people with post-traumatic stress. So, of
Yeah.
course, mushroom stocks are going to go up.
Yeah.
Yeah. And on those trips, you're supposed to stay isolated and not wander into the desert because you ain't coming back. So it
Right.
kind of makes sense why it's taken off. And if you have a good guide that understands this thing, he says his claim is you really get to know yourself after one of the. I haven't done it yet. I'm too scared to do it. I'll be honest with you. But he keeps saying, bro, I'll guide you through it. And so you can really understand what your true fears are. What, like, it seems that you go through, it could be bad, it could be good, but
Kind of
you
bad
come
trip.
out somewhere. Good pardon?
It's not recreational is the point.
No, it isn't.
Yeah.
No, it isn't.
It's
You
not
gotta
like these
be ready.
Viagra pills.
Everything
That's
I hear
definitely
is
recreational.
just 100% why I should never ever try mushrooms.
Right. Bro. So I did the 23andMe, and my grandpa wasn't my grandpa. Like shit like that. You start discovering. So imagine if you
Find out your dad
do
was a
something like
mailman?
this. No, it was more like yeah, I'll leave it at that.
Pizza delivery guy.
Somebody told me that you had
Right.
a boyfriend who looked like a girlfriend.
That's right.
Could snap the neck. So I think this it could be great or it could be break you is the way I see it. So that's why I hold off of it on taking up his offer. So the fact that the shrooms are kicking up because of isolation and everything, people are trying to find themselves is what I'm seeing. Divorce rates went up. It's just like cats and dogs started mating. It's like it went to shit. And this is one way to look at yourself
Are you
deeply.
on psychedelics right now, Hyman?
I'm trying not to be. yeah.
He's on high quality tacos, but that's about it.
But anyways, yeah. So that was the WTF news of the day. It was like 28,000 pills just being smuggled into the U.S. I don't know. I could have found something better.
Boner pills and pens. You're like, what?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Bro,
I was in high school though. I was on the bus and I had friends who were like smuggling weed inside of like pens. They would like remove like the actual
Oh,
ink
yeah.
part of the pen and they just like stuff weed in there and that's how they'd sell it.
But that's weed. That's like something that's
No, I know. I'm just saying
That's why
pens
it's
are a
actually
vessel
illegal.
that is used in this way.
Yeah. I love this. Peter P2 says everything I learned about life I learned from watching DC TV.
he's one special case, guys.
Yeah.
Attest to that.
So moving on, go ahead and check out our Discord, guys. We're going to get into the SBF news in just a moment, but our Discord is absolutely free. If you guys want to continue this Viagra conversation and talk about hard-ons all day, you can do that in our Discord. It's absolutely free to do. So check out the link in the description. We'd love to have you guys there and continue to grow our community in that way. Also, hit that thumbs up if you're enjoying the stream so far, and let's get into this SBF news. So Sam Bankman-Fried is now agreed to being extradited into the U.S. and he's going to go through a hearing today. But to my understanding, he's already signed the agreement to actually be extradited. So we will see. I guess the hearing is more or less a formality at this point. But now we're hearing news that he's actually going to be able to post bail in the U.S. Whereas he was not able to do so in the Bahamas.
All you need is one day in a third world prison to understand where this guy is at.
This guy is not very photogenic.
He never
This guy
had.
looks stupid every picture.
Or
he
well
takes.
spoken. So there's that.
No,
You know,
he was tremendously well spoken. Guys,
well,
before
not-
this
No, I
imploded.
understand that. I'm saying, like
Yeah.
in his interviews and whatnot, he's playing dumb.
Mm-hmm.
Well, whispers the question to himself. You're like, dude, that's weird as shit. Don't do that.
Right. I think it's a psychological game what he's playing at that point. Right now, it's
Yeah,
just
well, it reminds me of like an Austin Powers Gold member. You know, how he's like, save me from myself, because he's like eating his own skin flakes. It's like that. You're not gonna put that flake of skin in your mouth, are you? Ooh, you did.
So there's been a lot of like weird things about this. So he was expected to be in court yesterday, but didn't appear, even as his lawyers and U.S. Consular officials waited for 2 hours. And that followed a confusing hearing on Monday at which Bankman-Fried declined to waive extradition. The judge sent him back to jail and declared the day's proceedings a waste of time. This is according to ABC. Bankman-Fried is now due back in court today, and with the extradition papers signed, should be clear for transfer to New York, where federal prosecutors have charged him in 8 count indictments, which we have disclosed here on this show, with stealing billions from customers and investors in FTX. U.S. government plane is waiting to fly Bankman-Fried back to the Bahamas, where he lived in a $30 million penthouse while running FTX until it collapsed in November. So does he have to show up to this hearing, or can they just take him? I don't know the answer to that. That's why I'm just asking.
yeah.
Who's in charge is the question.
I would imagine the U.S. government's in charge at this point. Like, if the papers are signed, the U.S. should just be able to go in there and pick him up and take him. No?
Yeah,
The
and
U.S.
the-
government's multiple parties, though. Like, they don't agree with each other either.
Well, that's fair.
They'll still extradite him.
Yeah.
Doesn't matter once it's
Just
signed,
get him
it's signed.
stateside is it.
Yeah.
And the fact that he's been convinced of getting out of this prison, because it's not the prison that the Wolf of Wall Street and everyone else has gone, which is bearable. If he's been put in Gen Pop, guys, yeah, there's the cucumbers. It's like hot cucumbers he's getting all day and night.
Yeah, I doubt he was. I bet FBI's on the way to pick him up.
That's what I'm thinking too. And so now again, the conversation is that he is allegedly able to post bail, and whether or not he will, obviously remains to be seen. He's got to go through hearings here in the U.S. But if he actually posts bail, I think that just continues to further our own conspiracy theories about like the connections he has and how many people actually want to keep him quiet. Because I feel like keeping him in jail is actually probably worse for whomever is also in his camp, right? Like they want him to post bail.
Yeah.
Or not. I mean, I don't know. I'm just again arbitrarily asking the question.
He's a wild card, guys. He's a risk to everybody.
Who is he a risk to?
So people who know what actually transpired, where the money actually went.
Okay, so assuming all of this was a setup, and he's going to be the single one and only fall guy. No one else wants to go with him.
Well, there's already rumors that Caroline Ellison has blown the whistle on this guy.
Sure
By the
don't.
way, did you hear that there was a alleged other whistleblower that the SEC's paid $37 million to?
That's like half the FTX
You mean
budget.
the guy? Yeah, you mean the guy that was actually already speaking to the Bahamian government and letting them know of the, forget his last name. He was one of the higher ups in the company.
Yeah, I'm looking it up, but let's stay on topic with the conversation about the bailout and who actually would be, who benefits from him actually getting bailed out, I guess. And I'll look up that info.
Correct.
Who benefits from him staying in? I mean, if there was a conspiracy like this, then it doesn't matter. The people that have that kind of money have these connections. Like it's just as easy to pay. If they need to talk to them, it'd be very easy to tip anyone or just talk to them during visitation hours. If they're trying to kill him, you can do that inside and out of prison. So
it's easier in Bahamas to kill him actually than it is stateside.
But what gets easier outside if he gets bailed? Everything they do outside, they can do inside.
And I'm wondering if he's actually, because the fact that they arrested him before he even was going to testify, even if it was remotely, actually squelched the information being released. Now, the fact that he wants to get out of where he's at comes stateside, regardless of the consequences. The end result is better than him rotting in a prison, in a third world prison, for a year or 2 years. So I believe this is a push by him, where he's even asking to see the extradition papers and everything that was sealed to better understand, and then have a call with his attorneys in New York. You can see him trying to negotiate. Okay, let me get the hell, at least get stateside where it's safer. Rule of law is more enforceable and a lot more eyeballs on this.
Yeah.
And then let
higher
me
quality
figure out
produce.
Good fresh cucumbers instead of the stuff that was imported off the island
with maggots and slime. Yeah.
Right. So I don't think anyone wins as long as he's alive in terms of anything coming out. Like, what prevents him from saying, oh, this person, this, and start pointing fingers? I swear it was these guys, and truth or not truth, someone's going down with him. He's not going down alone. So I think he's a risk no matter where he's at.
If he dies, he dies.
So death is the
if he dies, the world's gonna explode. Like, people will go absolutely
but
yeah, I think if something like this were gonna happen, like, he would have had to been, somebody would have had to taken him out, well before now. Now it's just way too obvious. No? Or I guess maybe not. I mean, Epstein was obvious. It seemed way too obvious, and people still lost.
Yeah, you can kill someone anytime you want. The fact is, they'd rather deal with the conspiracy theories of he didn't kill himself than hear him say what he had to say. If someone's gonna off somebody,
nobody talks about Jeffrey Epstein anymore, right? So I mean, that makes sense.
Yeah.
I guess we'll see. Well, I guess we'll find out. So let us know in the comments, guys, if you think that Sam Bankman-Fried actually makes it to the U.S. and how long he actually survives here. So, getting onto the next question, the next topic that we actually brought up that I didn't plan on talking about was this $37 million deal. So this actually is a thing. This is according to the SEC website. I'll just share you guys a little bit of the snippets here of this. But yeah, this is the thing. $37 million was awarded to the whistleblower who gave key information on the FTX. This is straight from the SEC's website. So payments to whistleblowers are made out to an investor protection fund established by Congress, which is financed entirely through monetary sanctions paid to the SEC securities and securities law violators. No money has taken or withheld from harmed investors to pay whistleblower awards. Whistleblowers may be eligible for an award when they are voluntarily provide the SEC with original, timely, and credible information that leads to a successful enforcement action. Whistleblower awards can range from 10 to 30% of the money collected when the monetary sanctions exceed $1 million. And I guess because this is $1 billion operation, $37 million seemed to be the appropriate amount to give to this whistleblower, who remains anonymous, by the way. This initial source of the company's internal investigation, as well as a source for investigations by the SEC and other agency. While the company reported the alleged conduct, the SEC and other agency, the whistleblower receives credit for the investigations being initiated because the whistleblower provided the same information to the SEC within 120 days of providing it internally. I feel like I need to get into the business of being a whistleblower.
Hey, Brad, don't you
That's
say
pretty
shit
cool.
about our company, bro.
Oh, we're talking about that kind of whistleblower.
To rat somebody out.
Damn.
Yeah, not like the Captain Jack song from DDR. That's different.
Yeah,
Blow my whistle, baby. Everyone knows that song.
And
that one landed like a lead balloon bet, bro. But
That's my vibe, dude.
$37 million
yeah,
to
You
rat.
blow someone's whistle for $37 million?
Fuck yeah!
yeah.
What about
Give me my money-
$37?
Give me my money and I will disappear with $37 million.
And then you get protections.
Yeah,
so
and-
even if you were participating in this,
I
just-
imagine that's tax free. I imagine that's tax free.
What in this world is tax free?
What do
It's
you mean?
not tax free.
Someone turns a
paying
blind eye to winning part of your pie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Uh,
No.
Is
you still pay tax.
what is it? Hazard pay? It's tax free. Federally tax free.
I don't know.
Yeah,
I
I
don't
mean,
know.
even
But
though
even if it's taxed, fine. Okay, 17 million. You know, you still get a
Yeah.
good
Right.
chunk to retire from.
there's still sales tax, that's not tax free, please.
So
You're getting taxed.
Well, yeah. You go out and buy something with it, sure.
if you notice, everything's coming to a head at this moment. We're just waiting for that. What is it going to be? Is it going to be Binance coming down? Is it get more information like coming out of the FTX fiasco? Is it minor capitulation, which what we're seeing? It's like it's all coming together. It seems that the first quarter of 2023 is going to be extremely interesting. And look, Lord confirms with you. Yeah, I'll remove it for 37 million. It's very true. Like, that's human nature.
That's crazy.
Yeah. But it was a big scam. I mean, look how many people were affected by this.
I
And
know.
VCs and firms and everything.
Yep.
Yeah. And the fact that, let's say, if this whistleblower did not blow, he'd be on the chopping block also. But if he went ahead and just jumped to the SEC, guys, I got the information. I know I'm guilty. You're going to see all my bullshit in there. But here's all the information so you can have control. You know, it's saving his own ass, literally, is what's happening. And getting paid to do so.
Yeah. That's crazy.
Yeah. And securing the least amount of punishment possible.
You're probably getting no punishment. Probably getting $37 million, and then you just ride off into the sunset.
Yeah. Especially if they never declare who it is. Yes, I can see that happening.
Yeah. Because, I mean, let's think about it this way. If you either if you're looking from the SEC standpoint or the DOJ, you're like, all right, I get one guy that exposes everything, or I have to work my ass off to investigate like all this other shit. You know, do I just let this one guy go free so I can take down the whole house of cards? Okay, fine. Like, get the fuck out of here. Here's some money.
Don't they typically have to show up in court and testify against them?
I think it just depends on whatever the terms are of the agreement.
Yes. And if they need him to actually point, yes, he did it, you know, or she did it.
That would be some shit. Gary Gensler was the whistleblower. Maybe it's CZ. Who knows?
Yeah. Well, it's someone in the finance. It's someone in accounting.
Yeah.
That's the only way SEC and these guys would pay is because they can actually bring the block of evidence, financial evidence.
Yep.
So it's got to be someone who understands.
You would
Shit,
think.
it could be Caroline, guys.
Or if they're a hacker.
Well, it could be
Or a
Caroline.
hacker. Yeah, it could be.
If you hacked in and exfiltrated like a database, it
Correct.
could be presented.
Exactly.
Are you a whistleblower if you're not an employee of the company? If
Yeah.
you're not directly
A
involved?
whistleblower is just saying like, hey, there's information here you should know.
Yeah. So like
Pay me.
Snowden worked for a Booz Allen who did NSA contract work.
Edward Snowden.
Edwards. Yeah, I guess I'm
Edward.
Edward. Okay. So, and he got the. In his case, he had to flee. But yes, I mean, if they bring evidence, if you're a contractor and you're pulling that evidence out and giving it to the SEC, you're still a whistleblower, even though, but you are a contractor nonetheless. Like, how would an outsider, Brad, get access to that sensitive information? The
Well, that's
incriminating.
like Brandon said, somebody could have been a hacker or whatever.
Okay. And then even though they're black hackers, black hat hackers, they could turn white at that moment.
Right.
Well,
Right.
there's no such thing as black or white hat. Everyone's gray hat. It's simply a question of
What you do with it?
what are your
that
morals.
turns you?
That's
Yeah.
the conversation in the hacking community.
Okay. Beautiful. So yes. So whoever gains access to it.
Let's say I hack your database, but I find a bunch of chomo on your hard drive. Am I a black hat or a white hat for turning that in?
Correct.
I got access to a database I shouldn't have access to, but I also took down a chomo. So I mean, like,
Right.
you tell me what the morality thing is. There is it black or white hat? It's gray.
The winners write history. So whoever you gave it to
Correct.
will write this was a white hat. I mean, I agree with you. And I understand now the gray.
Fenris has spoken like a black.
I'm wearing an actual black hat.
That was a good one. All right, guys. So good stuff. Let us know if you guys want to join me in creating a business of just ousting some of these businesses. I want to start a business of being a whistleblower, so I can get.
Dude, let's work with NFT Rug Puller. We can totally do this.
Yeah.
Hey, he's watching today. There he is.
Yeah, Indo. We're gonna start doing some CoffeeZilla stuff.
Bro.
Yeah.
Hey, maybe it was CoffeeZilla. Who knows?
Dude, that dude, Steven's a baddie. He's awesome.
Yeah. He does well.
So moving on, guys, let us know what you guys think about all this in the comments. In all seriousness, we'll continue this conversation in our Discord. Check out the links in the description below. We'd love to have you guys there. It's absolutely free to join. Just help us grow our community. We certainly would appreciate it. Hit that thumbs up if you guys are enjoying the stream so far. And let's get into the next topic, which is Jaime and Brandon, a topic for you crypto nerds out there. So there has been some pretty big accumulations from crypto whales. If you guys aren't familiar with how cryptocurrency works, it is transparent in that anybody can see large blocks of cryptocurrencies, large or sales, purchases, what have you, of cryptocurrencies in general. That's with Bitcoin. We've seen it's so cool when you see huge amounts of money or worth of Bitcoin move that hasn't moved in years, right? And you can figure that out because of just how transparency works within the blockchain. And so that's what we're seeing now. I don't know if you can pull some of these up on TradingView, Jaime, but if you can, that would be really helpful for our viewers to see. But the first one that we're seeing some huge movement on is this crypto called Fight Out. It's a new project with significant financial backing, has already managed to generate quite a bit of interest in its private sale and public pre-sale, having raised over 2.1 million in just a few days. They're planning on opening gyms, partnering with celebrities, and launching AI-powered fighters, taking advantage of multiple key trends that have a high chance of making their FGHT token popular in the future. Have you checked this one out, either one of you?
No.
So, yeah, no, and I had seen that Quant was in that list. I can't find that graphic that they had in there. But yes, on the Fight Out, it's literally almost like Squid Games. It's a soulbound token avatar where whatever happens to it, it's you. So if you die, you die.
Right.
So you can see the anything betting. Even you, Brad, you've proposed projects where if there's bets, if there's sports bets, and if this Fight Out type of philosophy, Squid Game type, you can see that there is a huge demand for it on the growth side of it.
Right.
So
And here's how it works. FlightOut provides investors up to 25% extra tokens for purchases of $50,000 or more, and 10% for token purchases of just $500. This makes it a lot better to buy in bulk. Makes it a lot better deal to buy in bulk for those large investors or whales and smaller investors, which helps drive up the value of the altcoins before they are listed on exchanges. So this is more kind of like a crowdfunding type of way, or to incentivize crowdfunding for their project. Yeah.
Yes, absolutely. And bring real world fighters. So crowdfunding even the event itself. So it removes a lot of the middlemen that currently dominate that industry. So
Yeah, and here's the project itself, just to kind of give you a little bit of a visual, guys. What's going on with this one? I mean, listen, like, as we always know, altcoins have their fair share of speculation. We're not trying to tell you anybody to buy this stuff,
no.
but it's just interesting to see that there's a lot of demand for this particular token in a bear market, and so there's a lot of I guess big investors out there that see some potential in this for 2023. So check it out. Let us know what you guys think in the comments below if you're watching this later about FlightOut. That is the token FGHT. Next is going to be Dash to Trade. That is one. I feel like I've heard one of us talk about this. No? Has anybody talked about Dash to Trade? D2T.
I have not.
I've
Okay.
never heard of it.
The
So here
Dash
it
is
is.
not the same as Dash to Trade.
Correct. There is a Dash token, by the way, Brad, out there.
Dash is
an
old school.
OG.
It was proof of work,
Yeah.
and then it went proof of stake, I think.
Mhm.
Got it. So this one is a one-stop shop for anyone looking to get reliable data-driven information about investments. This will be done through providing tools for social sentiment analysis, buy and sell signals for trending coins, and a scoring system with advanced grading features for pre-sales. The recent FTX scandal has caused many people to invest in resources to avoid cryptocurrency scams. In response, Dash to Trade has announced that their platform will go live sooner than originally planned, and their token presale will end sooner than initially planted as well. The majority of Dash to Trade's functions will utilize D2T tokens, which is estimated to create a large demand for the token. The current D2T token presale has raised 10.1 million, and 76.5% of tokens have been sold. Wow. In addition, the beta versions of the presale dashboard will be released in the near future. So that's Dash to Trade. Lots of movement on that one.
Correct. And you can see the thinking. Go ahead, Brad, please.
Brandon. So
Brandon.
Logan Paul's a good example of, I think, where some cryptocurrencies fit in, right? So he had this like thing called Crypto Zoo that was pretty well known. It was an NFT project where this whole idea was like you would get zoo coins, and then you would get eggs for that, and the eggs would hatch, and then you could mate the eggs, or you could mate the animals together. And if you didn't like them, you could, burn them back into zoo tokens and get more eggs for it. But the problem was they weren't paying the developers properly. So a lot of people were bullish on it because of two things. One, they trusted the person, Logan Paul, and two, they saw an application that they could see themselves actually being able to use. So there's something about like having someone you trust say, hey, this is good, and something about actually being able to see an application that you could maybe have utility for. It's not hypothetical. People can like perceive and act the way they be like interacting with the tool, right? Or the game, or what the project, whatever it is. So I think looking at these, this first one, the FlightOut, follows that model where there's some app, they can work out and get stats, kind of like in Pokemon Go, even, where like your pedometer, yeah, Logan Paul's a turd, but like, you can get like you can see the similarities. Like Pokemon Go, yeah, you walk around and your Pokemon eggs hatch, and your buddies get XP or whatever. FlightOut seems to have very similar activity to that, where you're working with your phone. Your phone is like the accelerometer activity, gives you coins or stats in the game. And so this Dash to Trade, I'm wondering how that fits into the model. Maybe there's big people behind it that are like, hey, this will help you not get pwned, which if it's true, that's great. And if it's not, they're turds. And just keep in mind that even if something pumps, that doesn't mean it's a good project. This whole Logan Paul thing is a really good example with CryptoZoo, because the programming was fine, but Logan Paul didn't pay the developers. And so the developers held it hostage because he didn't pay them.
Mm.
So this shit happens all the time is the unfortunate part. But
Yeah, that's
let's continue looking at Robot Era.
Yeah, so Robot Era is, I think, an interesting one. It's probably the more interesting of the three. This project, players have sole control over their robotic allies, which, while they investigate and redevelop an annihilated planet of Taro, the game tools, which don't require any programming skills, enable personal robots and assets to be constructed. Gamers can make income from joining quests, communal events, and staking. They could also make money by selling space on billboards or buildings within the game realm and holding their functions, charging fellow players an entrance fee. This kind of sounds a little bit like a Roblox type of thing, but a little bit more advanced. Since launching its pre-sale, Robot Era has raised over 577,000 funding and is quickly making its way to $1 million. So obviously, it's still very small. But this was a little bit something different that I wanted to bring to the show, because we are decentralized TV. We talk about a lot of things crypto related, and obviously, we can talk about some of the major headlines. But I also wanted to give a little bit of a different element to these guys. It's just some of the projects that are being created, and maybe some of them will be awesome, but probably most of them will end up being shit. But I figured we talk about them nevertheless. What's your thoughts on Robot Terra?
I think the concept. Go ahead. The concept that you can actually monetize by playing, getting involved in the game, and you can actually sell what you've earned in game for fiat is the big dynamic that's occurring with these projects. Is you're actually, how many times as a kid you're like, fuck, I wish I could get paid to do this. Well, actually you could earn your way to do this in this model of decentralized gaming, and because you can now convert this asset to something, to fiat, that you can go buy bread with. So I think that's the basic concept why these are so hot with the virtual world. And so if you build the game properly and the economics properly, you can actually earn a living doing this. I think is the bottom line game changer of these projects at this moment.
Yeah, and I suppose keep in mind too that any value you receive comes from you providing goods or services, right? That's the meta of business, is you're either giving someone something they want, or you're doing some sort of service that requires skill or action that someone else doesn't want to spend. So crypto is kind of creating, in Web3, we're creating these like new areas of value. And if something's valuable, there's goods and services related to these new digital assets. And a lot of people haven't, I think, deeply thought enough about the impacts of that. Like, with like World of Warcraft, we saw this when it first popped up. There were people who were like, look, I work a 9 to 5. I have a family, but I also want to be able to go on raids with the boys, whenever I'm, have some leisure time. So I don't have time, to get these, high ranking gear. So they would pay people, not that much money, but they would pay people to basically play their accounts and grind their accounts, or they would just buy an account that was already matured by someone who was playing all the time. Because for them, it was worth it. They got so much satisfaction out of just basically playing Dungeons and Dragons in a video game with their, friends they grew up with. So I think keep that in mind, that like everything that's happening here already has a pattern that we've seen before, but I don't think people are quite putting 2 and 2 together, that there really will be some legitimate goods and services and businesses that can be built on some of these platforms if they are found to be desirable and long-term projects. So keep an eye out for who's involved in these projects and how well they develop their roadmap and hit their like time frame commitments. And if they don't hit a commitment, what do? Do they tell you? Do they just push it on the line? Like those types of things will give you hints as to whether something's quality or not.
Yes, these projects, especially the robot one, are some serious deep in the weeds Web3 type shit, metaverse type shit, and we're still very early in this, and so I think some of these are probably not going to be anything, but who knows? Maybe they will be. So let us know in the comments below or in Discord, guys, if you want to hear more about some of these new projects that are emerging that have created some activity, because we can cover them and kind of give our own due diligence, our own thoughts on these, and want to get your thoughts as to whether or not this is something that you want to see more of, or you'd rather not. So let us know in the comments below what you guys think about some of these altcoins and projects that are going on, if you guys want to hear more about this moving forward. The last topic of today is none other than Dogecoin. So,
amazing.
So as of right now, Coinbase has a market cap of 7.98 billion. It's trading around $35. Dogecoin has a market cap of 10.24 billion, surpassing the American crypto exchange by more than $2 billion. This is crazy to think about, that Doge, that was once, and I guess still is, a meme coin, is actually has a larger market cap than Coinbase, which is one of the largest exchanges in the world.
Absolutely. Regulated and everything. So,
yeah, right.
Yeah. I can show you. There it is. So this is Dogecoin. If you look at the historic chart, it's actually holding support at this moment where it's at. But if you actually compare it with Coin, which is Coinbase, look at Coinbase, man.
God, remember when Kramer liked it at 400?
Yes. Yes. Jesus, he is so accurate, guys. Just do the multiply times -1, whatever his recommendation is, you're good. Just do the opposite, inverse, bro. And you can't lose. So you can see why the market cap, it's not that Doge rose necessarily, is that coin went down. Like, look at it from inception. It's almost been a bloodbath since the get-go. And one of the challenges, or what's triggering Coin to do this, is because Coinbase is also trying to go to the SEC. Hey, can we do staking? Can we do this? And they keep getting threatened. Like, no, you can't. FTX was able to do this. So there's a lot of BS involved in this, where Coin and even GBTC, the Grayscale Bitcoin Trust, has also been declined by the SEC and other organizations. Like, no, you cannot convert to ETF, where it could rise. So if I show you also Grayscale and the historic chart, it's followed Bitcoin, but now it's at a great discount, where you're seeing even a push where it's trying to rise and it's being pushed down, the price itself, with gaps, massive gaps in trading. So you're seeing the resistance of the legislated world of crypto versus the unlegislated, or where there's no structure. I'm afraid that once they declare all these assets as securities, I think we're going to start seeing a throttle down, like Coin and everyone else has seen in terms of their market value.
But looking at that chart, it actually looks as if Doge has been quite resilient.
It has.
For something that's.
I mean, I can speak to that, though. Keep in mind, Doge is a proof of work coin that is doing what Litecoin originally set out to do. Because Bitcoin was meant to be a store of value. People are like, well, what if I want to buy coffee? Like, well, that's not a store of value. You don't buy coffee with your 401k, dude. That's not the same use case. And well, money's money. Well, money isn't money. There's different products inside of the finance space. And so Litecoin was like, well, we'll do something that has a much higher supply. We'll basically fork Bitcoin, and we'll do something that can be used for buying coffee, was the example, buying pizza, that doesn't have huge transaction fees and it goes through quickly. So Litecoin tried to do that, and then Dogecoin came out on Reddit as a way of tipping people for contributing to conversations. My 2 cents is the whole idea of like, well, I'll give you a penny for your thoughts. And so Dogecoin was meant to be highly transactional. It has it is inflationary, so it will never have a fixed supply. We'll keep having more and more and more tokens, which is why, like,
dilution.
Yeah, which is why having like 1 million Doge isn't that impressive. But
Right.
the interesting thing about that is because it incentivizes people not just to hodl it forever, but actually to spend it. People are actually using it transactionally, and it has really low transaction fees. And for a while, people were using it to move large amounts of money off of the exchanges after they mined a bunch of Bitcoin and Litecoin and took profits. And then traders were like, yo, there's a lot of movement on this Dogecoin. We should jump in and get some of that. And the people who were mining a bunch had the money in Doge. They were able to ride that pump up and actually inflate the amount of money that they got off of their Bitcoin and Litecoin profits, for example. And then they were able to move it off the exchanges for really, really cheap and use a DEX just to convert it into whatever funds that they actually wanted to hodl long term. So keep in mind that's the history of Doge. And then we have all these meme things pop up with like Elon Musk and Tesla, and Doge kind of became a big middle finger to the establishment
Even Peter.
during the whole game stonks. So like. And then you got weirdos like the Data Lord making music for Doge, and there's like meme culture around it. So it doesn't fit like the normal crypto space. So Doge's value rose because of that. And then there's a ton of FUD on centralized exchanges like Coinbase. And so that's where we see these converging, but it's pretty interesting times.
Absolutely.
I guess that my question at the end of all this is like, is Doge going to be something that, and I think I already kind of know the answer just because of the dilution property that this has. Like, is Doge going to be worth something that you just hang on to, or is it something that maybe you just have a little fun with, and that's just it?
It moves in cycles.
Yeah.
It'll move in cycles, and the cycles will not be based on like a halving, for example. They'll be based on other activity happening in the crypto space. You'll see Doge either be an early mover or a lagging indicator. So
when it comes to market cap, because that's cool and all, why don't you try selling $1 million worth of Doge and $1 million worth of coin and then see what happens? Like, what's the volume on that? What can it actually support? Because technically you can say the market cap is this divided by how many is available. If everyone were to just put a sell order, everyone who owns any Doge puts a sell order at $1, it will actually, the ask will go to $1. So the bid will be wherever it's at. We'll put it right in the middle. And then there's your new market cap. So what does it actually support? Like, well, what can it support me selling $1 million for the Doge right now? Can
around 400 million
I can sell
is
2 million worth of coin
24-hour
right now,
volume.
and I'd be fine.
Say that again, Brandon.
Yeah. Around $400 million is the 24-hour volume consistently on Doge when it's just humming along, not when it's pumping.
What about the order book? Not people trading in and out of for the fractions of a penny. I go and hit market order right now. How would how much would it take to devastate Doge?
Are you asking to wail on Doge? Because I know a few guys.
Well, I'm just saying, like, just in terms of this conversation, I'm willing to bet I could put a bigger order, and coin would move far less with the same amount, or it would take far more to move coin. So if this is going to be in the conversation of what do you think Doge is going to be, and we're talking about market cap, you have to take that into consideration. Like, does it actually support the market cap it's actually at, or is it just hanging out there because there really is no activity? 400 million. I don't know if that's a lot for Doge or not. What its volume is. Where does everybody truly stand?
Good questions.
So from
good questions, but it's unsophisticated investors mostly. It's people who are just memeing with the boys.
Yeah, and I see Elon's entry into by just saying Doge, I'm going to use Doge to get us to Mars. It's almost like saying this is going to be my interplanetary currency to get shit done. It's like you create this FOMO, you create this, oh shit, I can't believe he's doing this. So people will jump on it, as a speculative asset. But I see what you're doing, Mr. Sam Bankman-Fried of the future, by trying to tank the damn thing like he did Luna. Like, there's rumors of him doing that, understanding the tokenomics, and then taking advantage and making money off of that collapse. So I'm with you. I personally don't have Doge just because I'm not. It gives me the heebie-jeebies just knowing somebody else can affect the actual value or where the valuation is by saying or tweeting something. You know,
Case in point,
It
is
has to
Elon
be
Musk.
fun money.
correct.
Yes.
So if you want to have fun with it and you want to, and you're like, to the moon, let's get this done. Yeah, dump some in there.
Yeah.
But
Well,
I
and
know-
Elon's been talking about Twitter 2.0 integration plans for Doge as well.
Mhm.
So that could certainly get things pumping if that
Correct.
actually goes through. He's mentioned that now on a Twitter Spaces.
Yep.
And
He's
So-
mentioned that quite a few times, actually.
yeah.
yes,
So I mean, if that ends up happening, I'm sure we'll see a pop. If it does
Mhm.
pop, it's probably not going to sustain. So just make sure you guys have that understanding that Dogecoin isn't going to be something that is like a Bitcoin, right? Where it's just going to continue to appreciate. It is a
Mhm.
depreciating asset.
correct.
Um,
Inflationary asset.
inflationary
Yes, sir.
asset, and so it's not gonna stay wherever it goes to. It's not gonna stay there forever.
Correct.
And it's meant to be transactional. Its entire
Mhm.
history, like I said earlier, was Reddit tipping. And so tipping on Twitter, that completely makes the exact same use case as tipping on Reddit, right? Where
Yeah.
it's like you're having a public conversation. You're like, hey, dude, that was really helpful. Thanks for saying that. Here's a tip for contributing to the conversation, and incentivizes good actors in a community.
Exactly. Exactly.
Doge of the
Guys,
moon.
let us know what you think about this in the comments below as well. As far as Doge is concerned, how many of you guys have
Slammed.
traded it? Have you traded it? Do you still own it? Do you still think it's going to the moon? What are your thoughts? Let us know in the comments below. And then also, if you want to continue that conversation after today's stream, make sure you're checking out our Discord as well. Link is in the description. We'd love to have you guys there. And that's going to do it for today's show, guys. But I can't leave you without going over the birthdays. Samuel L. Jackson.
Happy
Any
birthday.
takers as to how old he is today?
62.
Not your business, mother.
TikTok, motherfucker.
Samuel L. Jackson is 73 years old.
Bro. He's
And a
demi-
Jedi.
Yeah.
Mace
He's a
Windu.
demigod, man.
He's
Yeah, love
amazing.
his energy. Love what he's built.
Mike Vitar. If you guys don't recognize the name, it's probably not a big surprise, but he was in the Sandlot. He was one of the main characters in Sandlot. He's 43, which just makes me feel really old. Jane Fonda is 84. Lots of big birthdays today.
God damn.
Teaching us how to dance.
Yeah. Ray Romano is 64. I had no idea that guy was that old.
Wow.
Kiefer Sutherland is 55. And then, guys, I can't let you go without going over Chrissy Moran's birthday. She's 43 and best known for Bedtime Secrets, Fun with Fingers, Oh My God, I Fucked My BFF, Slap and Tickle,
Dang
and
it.
Fun Pack Fantasies 5. Guys, thanks so much for tuning in. We'll see you on Friday at 9 a.m. Eastern time. Make sure you're hitting that subscribe button, hit that notification bell to get notified when we go live. And we'll see you on Friday. Until then, keep calm and huddle on.
Keep building, guys.